One question I get asked a lot is about undertones and why they matter and why I put them in my drawings when I just color right over them. Believe it or not, you're seeing undertones in all of these pictures. Some like this are a little more obvious than others. Same with this one. But in this one, because of her deeper skin tone, it's a little hard to tell. So today I wanted to do a little demo for you to show you a portrait with undertones and the same portrait without undertones, so you can really tell the difference and how it just really adds a little bit of magic to a piece. Determining what undertones to use can be a little difficult. Now, when I look at a reference picture, I'm not actually looking for the exact shade of the shadowed parts of her face. And why that is because I need to layer that and build upon it. So when I'm looking at this picture, I'm looking past and pretending in my mind that basic skin tone is gone and what would be under it. I look at this portrait and there are some heavier shadows going on. I'm definitely seeing a cooler shadow tone and not so much of a warmer shadow tone, but it's not blue. It's definitely a little bit more purpley. I'm gonna go with periwinkle. Okay, so they've been drawn. They don't look the exact same, but I promise you that that will be negligible. So we're going to add the undertone colors on this side, and then this side will just be the basic, more overlay tones. The undertone is basically where the shadows are on her face. I can definitely tell she has some shadow right here under her eye, and then going from the bridge of her nose down here. So the light source is from the right, casting a shadow this way on this half of her face. This kind of goes actually all the way around her nose. She kind of has a very subtle features, and this is casting a bit like this. Now I know it looks crazy and harsh because it's right on the white, but alcohol markers will gently become lighter as they dry, and a little bit more buildable. So if it looks scary and wrong right now, I feel you, I hear you. It will most likely come out okay. Now she also has a little bit of cheekbone action going on, and because it's not completely from the side, there is a bit like a triangle of light casted here on her cheek. So we're gonna carve that out with our undertone shadow tone color here by just going like that. It does happen right under her chin, and then also kind of surrounds her chin too. So as you can see, I've mapped out general areas, and then I go back over it to really build the shape and make it look better. And I'm careful about how many times I pass over a certain area, because I don't want to pass over an area 2 times, or too many times I should say, because that'll really saturate the color. And especially in kind of a transitionary area like right here between that light triangle and the shadow of her face, you don't want it to be too strong, or else it'll be kind of crazy. But there are definitely areas where it is stronger on her face, like the side of her nose here. And generally the stronger areas are where I like to map out first, just so they're established, and if I make a mistake, I don't have to go over them again and again and again. And now you can already see the dimension of her face starting to appear with this undertone, and that'll really help guide me throughout creating the rest of the piece. So we have the undertone on this side and no undertone on that side. And you can already see, I mean, obviously I haven't done anything with this, so it looks very flat. You can already see how the dimension is starting to come up here, even though there's only one color on it. So next thing that I like to do while I'm still kind of in this undertone phase is the warmth of the cheeks, so that when I put that skin overlay on top, it's actually very blended and really does appear like it's peeping through the skin. If you're having trouble visualizing this, you can see she has some blush going on here and here, which is also part of the shadow thing going on, but I added that as an undertone, and you can see how blended and wonderful that is once I added the skin tone on top. So we're going to be doing that similarly with these. I have this color, R302, and it's too bright for her cheeks, but I think it's going to be the perfect tone for her lip, so I'm just going to add that now. You can already see the difference that it makes, how this color, even though it's the same color as this, how it's already starting to pop just because of the presence of this other color. Okay, this is one of my favorite shades. It's R501 if you're curious, from Artify, and I'm going to use it for the blush of her cheeks, which you can really see right here. And you know what, see how this created a deeper purple? It might seem counterintuitive, but I'm going to put it along the ends, and that's really going to deepen where we see the shadow. So now for this blush shade, I'm also going to start using it to blend the lighter part of the shadows of her face. And you might think, why would you use the blush, which is like the redness, to do the shadows? Think about if you've ever held a flashlight under your finger. Because your fingers are so thin, you'll see the light shine through, and your finger will probably glow like a bright orange or a bright red. And that's because obviously we're filled with blood. So while I'm doing the undertones, I'm adding this blush color and this red color because the redness from our skin comes from our blood, which is under our skin. So we've added that warmer blush tone with the undertone, and honestly, it's really already starting to be put together. She is lacking for sure. Now we're basically done with the undertones, and now we're gonna do the midtones and the overtones, which both of these will be getting. All right, if you are following along, which you definitely don't need to, I'm using Y900. I'm gonna start on this face, just in case my marker picks up any of the previous color. I don't want it to transfer here, so we'll start here. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what we did here on top of this. You can already see she has so much dimension and she doesn't, and that's because we just did one wash over her face and she already has 3 different colors. Aside from the undertone process, the best thing to do is work from light to dark. That way you don't make any mistakes that are scary and hard to cover up. I have my Artify R111 and my Artify R112, and R111 is lighter, so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to create that shadow effect, but only using the midtones. Now the way I'm going to add it to this face will be a little different, just because I don't want to accidentally pick up and erase any of the color that I've already established. So if you notice that I'm applying it just a little bit differently, that's why. Now we move on to the second shade, which is just a little bit darker, and we're going to use this basically as a bridge between the color we just made and the other colors. So I need to go over these darker parts again with a bit of a wash, and I will do that, but for now I'll do the same thing on this side. This is a really good place where you can see how the undertone changes this color, because there's a lot of that periwinkle color that I added before here, and this looks very like mauvey and dark and cool, and this is coming off much more warm. You can really see the color from before peeping through. With the midtones, I often have to go in between the lighter tone and the darker tone to make sure it's all getting blended, and that's what I'm going to do now. All right, so far they have the same overtone and the same midtones, but you can tell she looks so much more alive just from the undertone and the redness that we added earlier. I'm gonna do some more final details, such as adding more color to her lips and then giving her hair just a basic color, and I'll see you in a moment and we will review. Okay, and there you go. She has undertone and she does not. Now you can see once I've put everything together, it does look a lot more subtle, but see how she has so much more dimension and life to her, where she really doesn't. You can see the shadows and the redness coming through her skin, and she just looks more alive and glowy, and you can tell the light is coming from this way and casting a shadow this way. Whereas she, even though she has the same midtones and the same overtone, same lip color, she is only missing that periwinkle and that red from before, and look how different she looks. Undertones are really, really powerful, and while they take a little bit of practice to get used to, they really make a big difference. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please comment your thoughts. If you like this one better, let me know because I'm very curious. I personally like this one. Anyways, peace out.